I just pulled your cards for 2026, and honestly, I need to sit with this energy for a moment, because what is coming through is absolutely fascinating. I've been reading tarot for years, and when I pulled these 6 cards for you, the message was so clear and so powerful that I actually had to pause and really take in what the universe is trying to tell you right now. So before we dive into the individual cards, let me just say this. 2026 is not going to be a year where you sit back and wait for things to happen. This is not a passive year for you, Leo. The energy that is coming through these cards is all about bold action, strategic thinking, and ultimately creating the kind of life that you have been dreaming about for possibly years now. And I know that might sound like a big statement, but trust me, once you hear what these cards are saying, you're going to understand exactly what I mean. The first card that came through for you is the Ace of Wands, and can I just say, what a way to start this reading. The Ace of Wands is literally the spark of creation, the initial burst of inspiration that sets everything else into motion. When I see this card for someone, especially at the beginning of a yearly forecast, I know that we are talking about new beginnings with a capital N. This is not about continuing what you have already been doing. This is about something completely fresh, something that is going to ignite a passion in you that maybe you have not felt in a long time. For you, Leo, this Ace of Wands is showing me that 2026 is bringing you an opportunity that is going to feel exciting on a level that is hard to even describe. You know that feeling when you get an idea and your whole body just lights up with enthusiasm? That is the energy of this card. And what I find really interesting is that this is not just a random opportunity that falls into your lap. This is something that is deeply connected to your authentic self, to who you really are at your core. The Ace of Wands does not show up for projects or ideas that are lukewarm or half-hearted. This card appears when there is genuine fire, genuine passion behind something. I am seeing that for many of you Leos, this could be related to a creative project that you have been thinking about but have not quite pulled the trigger on yet. Maybe it is a business idea, maybe it is an artistic endeavor, maybe it is even a complete career pivot that you have been considering. Whatever it is, the Ace of Wands is saying that 2026 is the year to actually do it. Not to keep planning, not to keep preparing, but to actually take that first step and see where it leads you. And here's what I really want you to understand about this card. The Ace of Wands does not guarantee that everything will be easy or that you will not face challenges. What it does guarantee is that you will have the energy, the enthusiasm, and the creative fire to push through whatever obstacles come your way. This is raw potential energy, and it is yours to shape and mold into whatever you want it to be. The universe is basically handing you a torch and saying, here you go, Leo. Now go light up the world with it. I also want to point out that the Ace of Wands is very much about instinct and intuition. This is not the kind of opportunity where you need to overthink every detail or have a perfect plan mapped out. In fact, if you wait until everything feels completely ready, you might miss the window entirely. This card is encouraging you to trust your gut, to trust that inner fire that is telling you this is the right move, and to just go for it. You are a fire sign, Leo. This kind of bold, instinctive action is literally in your nature. The cards are just reminding you to tap into that part of yourself now. The second card that I pulled for you is Judgment, and wow, okay, this is where things get really interesting. Judgment is one of those cards that people sometimes misunderstand because they think it is about being judged or criticized, but that is not what this card is about at all. Judgment is about awakening, about reaching a higher level of understanding about yourself and your life. It is about that moment when everything suddenly clicks into place and you see things with absolute clarity. For you in 2026, the Judgment card is telling me that you are going to experience a significant moment of realization or awakening at some point during the year. This could come suddenly like a lightning bolt of clarity, or it could be a gradual dawning of understanding. But either way, it is going to change how you see yourself and your path forward. And what I find really powerful about having both, the Ace of Wands and Judgment in your reading, is that they work together beautifully. The Ace of Wands gives you the spark and the passion, while Judgment gives you the clarity and the wisdom to direct that energy in the right way. I'm getting the sense that for many of you, this awakening moment is going to be related to finally understanding what you are really meant to be doing with your life. Not what other people think you should be doing, not what society expects of you, but what your soul is calling you to do. And I know that might sound dramatic, but Judgment is a major arcana card. It deals with big, significant life themes. This is not about small, surface-level changes. This is about fundamental shifts in how you understand your purpose and your place in the world. The Judgment card is also very much about releasing the past and stepping into a new version of yourself. I'm seeing that some of you might have been holding on to old identities, old stories about who you are or what you are capable of, and 2026 is the year where you finally let those go. It is like you are shedding an old skin and emerging as this more authentic, more powerful version of yourself. And the beautiful thing is that this is not forced or painful, it is actually a relief. It is like you have been carrying around this heavy weight and you finally get to put it down. Another aspect of the Judgment card that I want to highlight is the idea of being called to something higher. This card often appears when you are being asked to step up, to rise to the occasion, to answer a calling that requires you to be the best version of yourself. For Leo specifically, this could be about finally stepping into a leadership role, or a position of visibility that you have been preparing for, whether you realized it or not. The universe is saying that you are ready for this, that you have done the work, and now it is time to answer the call. I also want to mention that Judgment carries an energy of forgiveness and reconciliation, both with yourself and potentially with others. If there have been situations or relationships where you've been carrying guilt, regret, or resentment, 2026 might bring opportunities to heal those wounds and move forward with a clean slate. This is about freeing yourself from the past so that you can fully embrace your future. The third card in your spread is the King of Swords, and this is where your reading takes on a really interesting dimension. After the passion of the Ace of Wands and the awakening of Judgment, the King of Swords brings in this energy of mental clarity, strategic thinking, and intellectual mastery. This is the card of someone who has complete command over their thoughts, who can cut through confusion and see situations with absolute precision. For you, Leo, in 2026, the King of Swords is telling me that you are going to need to balance your natural fire and passion with clear, rational thinking. This is not about dampening your enthusiasm, but about channeling it in a smart, strategic way. The King of Swords is someone who makes decisions based on logic and reason, who does not let emotions cloud their judgment, and who has the ability to see the truth of any situation. I'm seeing that this card might be showing up because you are going to be faced with some important decisions in 2026, and the King of Swords is advising you to approach these decisions from a place of clarity and objectivity. It is easy for U.S. fire signs to get swept up in the excitement of new opportunities and rush into things without fully thinking them through. But the King of Swords is saying, slow down just enough to make sure you are seeing the full picture. Ask the tough questions, do your research, and make choices based on facts and logic, not just feelings. The King of Swords is also about communication and truth. This card suggests that you might need to have some difficult conversations in 2026. Conversations where you need to speak your truth clearly and directly. This could be in a professional context, like negotiating a contract or setting boundaries at work, or it could be in your personal life, like having an honest conversation about where a relationship is heading. Whatever the situation, the King of Swords is giving you the ability to communicate with clarity, authority, and precision. Another aspect of this card that I find really important for you is the idea of intellectual growth and learning. The King of Swords is someone who never stops expanding their mind, who is always curious and always seeking to understand things more deeply. In 2026, you might find yourself drawn to learning new skills, studying something that fascinates you, or engaging with ideas and concepts that challenge you to think in new ways. This intellectual expansion is going to be a key part of your growth this year. I also want to point out that the King of Swords can sometimes indicate working with mentors, advisors, or experts who can provide you with valuable guidance and insight. If you are embarking on something new, which the Ace of Wands certainly suggests, do not be afraid to seek out people who have expertise in areas where you need support. Now we move to the fourth card, which is the Two of Wands. And this is such a perfect card to have in your reading because it is all about planning, vision, and looking toward the future. The Two of Wands shows someone standing at a crossroads, holding the world in their hands, surveying their domain, and planning their next move. This is the card of the strategist, the visionary, the person who is thinking several steps ahead. For you, Leo, the Two of Wands is telling me that 2026 is a year where you need to think big. Do not limit yourself with small, safe goals. The Two of Wands wants you to expand your vision, to dream bigger than you have been dreaming, to consider possibilities that might seem ambitious or even impossible right now. This card is saying that you have more potential than you realize, and it is time to start planning for the kind of success that matches your true capabilities. What I find really interesting about the Two of Wands appearing in your reading is that it suggests you're going to be in a position where you have options, where you have multiple paths available to you and you get to choose which one to take. This is a powerful position to be in, but it can also feel overwhelming because you want to make sure you are choosing wisely. This is where the King of Swords energy comes in handy. You have the mental clarity to evaluate your options objectively and make the choice that is truly best for you. The Two of Wands is also very much about stepping out of your comfort zone and taking calculated risks. I'm seeing that some of you might have been playing it safe for a while now. Maybe because of past disappointments or because you are afraid of failing. But the Two of Wands is saying that 2026 is not the year to play small. This is the year to be bold, to take chances, to put yourself out there in a bigger way. Yes, there is risk involved, but there is also incredible potential for reward. I also want to highlight that the Two of Wands carries this energy of partnership and collaboration. While you might be the one with the vision and the initial spark, you do not have to execute everything alone. This card suggests that finding the right partners, collaborators, or team members could be crucial to your success in 2026. Look for people who share your vision and who bring skills and strengths that complement your own. Another layer of the Two of Wands is about having patience and being willing to plan for the long term. This is not necessarily about instant gratification. The person in the Two of Wands is looking out at the horizon, understanding that the journey they are about to embark on might take time. They are okay with that because they know that anything worth having is worth working for. For you, Leo, this is a reminder that while the Ace of Wands brings that initial burst of energy and excitement, creating something truly significant requires sustained effort and strategic planning over time. The fifth card that came through for you is the Ten of Swords, and okay, I know this might look intense when you see it in other readings, but hear me out because in the context of your overall spread, this card is actually bringing a really important message. The Ten of Swords is about endings, about the final closure of a chapter that has been completed. Yes, it can indicate a painful ending or a difficult situation reaching its conclusion. But it is also about liberation and the freedom that comes from finally being able to move on. For you in 2026, the Ten of Swords is telling me that something in your life needs to end in order for all of these amazing new beginnings to fully take root. This could be an old way of thinking, a limiting belief about yourself, a situation that is no longer serving you, or even a relationship that has run its course. Whatever it is, the Ten of Swords is saying that this ending is necessary and ultimately positive. Even if it feels challenging in the moment, what I want you to understand about the Ten of Swords is that it represents the final ending. This is not a situation that is going to drag on or resurface repeatedly. When the Ten of Swords appears, it is saying that this chapter is completely done, finished, over. And while that might feel intense, there is also something deeply freeing about it. Once something is truly finished, you can stop giving it your energy and attention. You can turn the page and start fresh. I'm also seeing that for some of you. The Ten of Swords might represent the ending of a period of struggle or difficulty that you've been going through. Maybe you've been dealing with challenges at work, stress in your personal life, or internal battles with self-doubt and anxiety. The Ten of Swords is telling you that this difficult period is coming to an end. In 2026, you have made it through the hardest part. And now you get to emerge on the other side stronger and wiser. Another aspect of the Ten of Swords that I think is important to mention is that this card often appears when we need to let go of victim mentality, or the stories we tell ourselves about why we cannot have what we want. Sometimes we hold on to pain or disappointment because it feels familiar or because it gives us an excuse not to take risks. The Ten of Swords is saying enough. It is time to let go of those old stories and step into your power. The position of the Ten of Swords in your reading, coming after all of these cards about new beginnings and big visions, tells me that this ending is actually clearing the space for everything else to manifest. You cannot carry old baggage into a new chapter. You cannot build something new while still clinging to what was. The Ten of Swords is the universe's way of helping you release what needs to be released so that you can fully embrace what is coming. And now we come to the final card in your reading. The Ten of Pentacles, and honestly, Leo, this is such a beautiful card to end on because it represents the ultimate manifestation of abundance, security, and legacy. The Ten of Pentacles is not just about personal success, it is about creating something that lasts. Something that provides stability and prosperity, not just for you, but potentially for others as well, for you in 2026. The Ten of Pentacles is showing me that all of this energy we have been talking about, the passion of the Ace of Wands, the awakening of judgment, the strategic thinking of the King of Swords, the big vision of the Two of Wands, and the necessary endings of the Ten of Swords. All of this is leading toward creating real, tangible, lasting abundance in your life. This is not about temporary success or fleeting victories. This is about building something solid, something that has true value and staying power. The Ten of Pentacles often appears when we are creating wealth, but it is important to understand that wealth means different things to different people. For some of you, this might literally be about financial abundance and material success. But for others, it might be about creating a rich, fulfilling life full of meaningful relationships, creative expression, and personal satisfaction. The Ten of Pentacles encompasses all forms of abundance and prosperity. What I find really powerful about this card in your reading is that it suggests you're not just working toward your own success. You are creating something that could benefit others as well. The Ten of Pentacles has this energy of legacy, of building something that will outlast you, something that could provide opportunities or support for family, community, or even future generations. This is thinking on a big scale, and it aligns perfectly with your Leo energy, which naturally wants to create, lead, and make a positive impact. The Ten of Pentacles is also about reaching a place of stability and security, where you can finally relax and enjoy what you have built. I'm seeing that by the end of 2026 or moving into early 2027, many of you are going to feel like you have reached a place where you can breathe a little easier, where the hustle and struggle starts to give way to flow and ease. You will have put in the work, made the hard decisions, released what needed to be released, and now you get to enjoy the fruits of all that effort. Another beautiful aspect of the Ten of Pentacles is that it often indicates a time of celebration, of gathering with loved ones, of sharing your success and abundance with the people who matter most to you. After a year of bold action and significant growth, the Ten of Pentacles is inviting you to pause and appreciate how far you have come, to celebrate your victories, and to enjoy this period of prosperity and stability. I am so excited for you, Leo. I genuinely believe that when you look back on 2026, you are going to see it as a pivotal year, a year when everything shifted, when you finally stepped into the fullness of who you are meant to be. The universe is supporting you in this. The cards are showing you the way. Now it is up to you to trust the process and take that first brave step forward.